Miss Nicole here for our next video. We are going to use toilet paper rolls, okay, to work on your child's fine motor skills. So, some things that you will probably need for today's video are obviously toilet paper rolls or toilet paper or paper towel rolls, a hole punch, some pipe cleaners, some straws, and or Q-tips, okay? A pair of child-safe scissors, and either some little balls or marbles. Some clothespins, okay? Can be big or small, whatever size you have. And some elastic bands, whatever size you have. So the first thing we're going to do is, with your hole punch, and this will probably be something the adults have to do, is that you have to punch holes around the edge of the toilet paper roll. These hole punches tend to be quite difficult for children to actually squeeze, and the toilet paper rolls are kind of thick, so an adult will probably have to do that part. But, you know, you might want to try it. If your child does have really good hand strength, then they could certainly do it. So once you have the holes punched, then your child can take either the pipe cleaners or the Q-tips or the straws and push it through one hole on one side and then to the other side, okay, like that. So there you have it. And then I'm going to try another one. Okay, and this is really good. You're working on bilateral coordination, bilateral hand coordination, because one hand is holding this and the other hand is working on pushing it through. And we want our child, the child, to of course be holding it using their thumb and their first two fingers, first one or two fingers, trying to keep those other two fingers pressed against their palm. And what I find is that the straws are a little bit harder to get through, which is good because it gives a bit of resistance. So then your muscles are going to work a bit harder. And they might not all be quite perfectly aligned depending on how you punch them. So they might have to work a little harder to kind of align things too. But that's really good work for their hands. So trying to get this one through here. There we go. So now I got that. So, and this could be a very goofy looking spider. You could just draw some eyes on there and that would be a little spider that your child could have to play with. So that's one activity. Now another one, so I've already prepared this one. So what you can do on one toilet paper roll is just draw some eyes, a mouth, some kind of a silly face. And then what I've done is I've already snipped the top so that the hair, this is the character's hair, okay? And then what your child can do is give this character a haircut. So, and I'm gonna make it a very uneven haircut to just make it a little bit interesting. Now, if your child is really good with scissors, there we go. That's a funny haircut now, isn't it? If your child is really good with scissors, what you can do is you can have them do the snipping all the way around. But if your child has more trouble with the scissors, then just doing this, the snipping like this, just cutting some of these off. And it's great because the pieces really fly, so they tend to like that. So that's the goofy character haircut. Now the next thing you can try doing is taking a toilet paper roll and with your little balls, whatever kind of balls you have, or marbles, you can have them try to roll the balls through the toilet paper roll. So this is really great for their eye-hand coordination and for using their fingertips, okay? So they're trying to get it through there. Now you can make it even harder by taping two toilet paper rolls together. Then they have to push it even harder to get it all the way through, okay? So if there's two together, they have to plan out that they have to push even harder. See, I didn't even get it through. So that is definitely more challenging. So I think for a lot of you, probably just trying to get it through the one toilet paper roll will be enough. Then with the clothespins, one thing you could try is making a pair of binoculars. So just putting a clothespin at the end. Now you have to put the other end up to your eyes, and then you've got a pair of binoculars, okay? But you can also just take one toilet paper roll and put clothespins on one end, all the way around, and also at the other end, okay? And this is, again, very good for bilateral hand coordination because you're holding the tube with one hand, putting the clothespins on with the other hand. And again, we want to be encouraging the child to use the thumb and the first finger. If they need to use the third finger as well, that's fine. But you're trying to keep those other two fingers pressed against their palm, okay? So working on those pincer grasp fingers, which is going to help with holding the pencil the right way. So that's with the clothespins. And one last thing with the elastic bands. So what you can do with this is have the child use their fingertips and open the elastic band and just put them on the tube. So I have different size elastic bands here. I have thin ones and then I have thick ones. So the thin ones are going to be easier because they don't give as much resistance generally. And again, you're wanting them to use those same three fingers, get them on there. Now the other thing that this particular activity is really good for is opening up what we call the web space. That's the space right here between your thumb and your index finger. Many children these days, their web space is closed when they're holding the pencil, but what we want to see is that web space to be more open because that gives them better fine motor control if possible. So this activity really works on opening up the web space, putting it on there, okay? And then if the thin elastics are easy for your child and you then have some thicker ones, try to have them do it with a thicker one because that just adds more resistance and it will work on the muscles even more. So put it on there. Okay, and if you have an elastic that's really big and they put it on, then they can also work on twisting it and then putting it on a second time. Okay, so there you have it. There are some things that you can do with toilet paper rolls to work on your child's fine motor skills, and I hope you have some fun with it. Okay, have a good day.